Just a warning, this is a speed I will be speaking for the entirety of this video. I was on winter break from school, meaning I consumed content and had the desire to draw fan art, but I consumed so much content I couldn't choose which. So I made this compilation of 2 characters from 10 series. In my original notes, you can see I clearly wrote or, meaning I intend to go with 10, but I chose death and did them all. That's the intro, let's begin. To start, we have the ones within. I should probably start by mentioning I've been off the new anime scene for pretty much all of 2020 to 2021 with a few major exceptions, so I don't care how popular the I just said IDK. I didn't know how popular the new shows I watched recently are. Anyways, I had never heard of this one. In fact, most of these I watched because I was scrolling endlessly through the Hulu anime connection and the premise seemed entertaining. 8 gamers get sucked into a death game, but it's like a fluffy death game and I love it. The small cast of characters definitely benefits the show as each one basically gets their own episodes to shine in the 12-episode season. The plot was intriguing, there are some tropes, but it also plays off some of those tropes and those moments are delightful. One of my favorite instances of those tropes is a post-credit scene where there's some dramatic irony involved and the shit that's in it comes up soon after, but it's handled in a way that I just wasn't expecting. I was like, Overall, the show has very cute aesthetic and likable characters, and the developments the plot goes through I found genuinely interesting, and I look forward to what comes next. These two within are Karin, a horror game Let's Player, and Zak, a stealth game Let's Player. Please give a season through. I really want to know what happens. Next is Fena, Pirate Princess. I watched the show a few days before it moved off of Hulu, so if the timing hadn't lined up and I partook in a different show that looked interesting first, I probably would have never watched it, and I didn't actually expect to watch this all the way through because I tend to be very picky about my fantasy anime. You've heard it all before. Poor, beautiful orphan girl escapes her life only to be chased, but her love interest comes and whisks her away on a quest. Pirates. Samurai pirates. I like their masks. I honestly wasn't the biggest fan of the characters at first because they felt like they just existed to check off the boxes for what you needed in an anime character cast, and Fena fit the mildly annoying naive MC, but there's a difference between accidentally making a character annoying and doing it intentionally to show growth, and actually it took me a while, but Fena grew on me. The rest of the cast shitting on you for it helped, but there was nothing wrong with the characters, it just felt like I'd seen them all before. I realized I wasn't actually attached to any of the characters that much, so I just chose 2 of my favorite designs, which I slowly realized I didn't actually want to draw and more just stare at. So you've got Shintan in his crop samurai uniform, which is great because side engine crop bodysuit armor, it looks perfect and it gets full points for that big scrap. Anything is fantastic aesthetic. And then Charlotte because Charlotte Web. Wait. Anyways, it's not my favorite, but it was enjoyable. Granted, incredibly predictable if you've ever watched a fantasy anime about a girl who doesn't know she's special for some reason, being pursued by weird people who are they're bad. Oh, they're definitely bad. Cool plot, definitely hit the points it should, and concludes to a satisfying end, I'll give it that. It's just, yeah, could use some work in the character. I guess it does characterize, it's just very cliched. Anyways, next, we've got Blood Lad. I didn't realize it was over, and then Hulu started playing a different anime. It's 10 episodes of fun. Blood Lad follows the Blood Lad, a super otaku terror head vamp in the demon world, but then the human appears and shit goes down. I enjoyed the characters, enjoyed the style, and the thing I enjoyed most of all, boobs. This guy and his second incarceration, just perfection. My opinions on anime can ship with one well-did senior character, and that wouldn't have been made without Braz here, though I will say Wolf is my actual favorite character, and this is where I add in there is no organized order to the shit I'm saying. I'm just filling time because I set the standard of talking at a speed at the start of the video, and now I have to see it through. I don't know what else to really say about this one. If you like this sort of humor, I'd recommend shows like Hinamatsuri or Nanbaka to look at me trying to fill this time. It's so imbalanced. I made the composition before deciding I wanted to dub over it, so the inking order was already decided. I would have reorganized so the shows that I had more to say about were first, but that's the fun of this chaos, you know? Welcome to It's Not Anime, but It's Media I obsessively consumed over this break number 1. Obey me. Obey Me is an otome game where the MC is an exchange student at the Royal Academy of Devildom or something rad, and 9 demon buddies, 2 angels, and throw in a human because why not are the main cast. The main content of the game follows the main storyline intermittently between battle stages where you dance away at their hearts with the cards you summon. Yeah, that's the premise. It's great. I really love Simon's outfit. I guess I should expect the stellar outfitting design from an otome game, but to be fair, this is only the second otome game I've ever played, the first one being Afterlife, which also Beel is great. I'm always concerned seeing characters that rely on one to find Joe, but he's surprisingly 3-dimensional, and for that reason I declare Beel requires therapy. No, I'm just incredibly drawn to things and people with a decent shade of turquoise. If I was transported into a dating sim and had to spend a week romanticizing a capture target and confessing my love on the school roof where it's said to be reciprocated internally, it would be to the color turquoise. And I know what you're saying. That's the uniform color of every demon council member. Yeah, that's why it's a hair. Anyways, I've only been playing for 3 days, and as of writing this, I'm level 22, chapter 10. To defend myself, I get very excited about gachas in general, but I'm enjoying the story so far, and farming these cards is therapeutic. Number 5. Hey, we're halfway through, so let's take it slow. Okay, vampires, red. Vampire, blue. Yes, in this world, vampires don't like this one guy, the blue one, but they should because it's an amazing color. I actually don't want to explain the premise of this one too much because I went in blind and found myself pleasantly surprised by how well the first episode explains the premise by itself. But for the sake of review, Vanitas is a little shit. Noe is a big dork, and I love him. He's the best 11 10. I did a fan art scene where they're in together, but it's actually just for Noe. The whole aesthetic of the show is amazing. Like, it looks beautiful. You can safely sim for the most of the characters, and Roland is amazing, and I was so concerned he was going to be one of those, but he thwarted my expectations so much he's now in this compilation when I was really just going to be Lady Dom over here. here. Static to have dampier representation in media. Actually, maybe they are in a lot of other stuff, but I typically don't consume vampire-focused content. The last time I enjoyed it, I think, was reading Stoker's Dracula senior year of high school, which I only got 2/3 of the way through before realizing I'm a senior in high school and don't care anymore. It's really fun to read, though, and I do want to finish it. Simp. Number 6, Akudama Drive. I have been typing Akumada Drive in my notes everywhere, and it's all Miraculous's fault. Okay, the moment I read the show description on Hulu, I was intrigued and started watching the show immediately, skipping over about, nope, I actually just counted 42 shows on my watch list exactly. Let me set the scene really quick. Futuristic, shitty city, cool tech, lots of crime. So much crime, in fact, certain criminals are dubbed Akudama, and the highest ranking ones are known as the most dangerous people in the city. Civilian girl ends up mixed up amongst a group of Akudama following mysterious employer, and the rest you have to find out. The show has a turning point where it's really fun and exhilarating, and then it's a different kind of titillating in the analogy where if the first has hit the sugar rush, the second is where it all comes crashing down, and honestly I kept watching because at that point I was invested in some of the characters and had to see how their story ends. Little point here, I love when characters don't have names, except for I'm trying to look up drawing references for them later, and oh wait, yes, she's the executioner apprentice, but what about when she becomes an executioner and her outfit changes, and what if I'm trying to Google a pic of her executioner apprentice, what do I call him? Oops. My favorite character has to be Hawker. Yep, that's his name now, or Brawler, but I also really like Doctor's character design, which is why I drew her. I really like all the character designs actually, and they serve to add a bit of personality to the characters, especially since the first few episodes are so fast-paced, and their iconicness makes the Akudama and their quirks memorable right away. Also, the art in the ending opening is fantastic, and I had to watch them many times, and that's it for Akuma. God damn it, you know what? Go forth, my little Akuma, and evilize them. That's right, it's time for D.Gray-Man. Tiki spots on. Holy shit, he shot him out. But wait, that's backwards because that's not Big Bad Hawk Daddy. The one who makes Akuma is a whole ass Millennium Earl. 15-year-old Alan Walker joins the Black Order, an organization dedicated to fighting Big Boy Earl and the Akuma he creates out of humans. Evil. Not ninjas, not reapers, not pirates, they exorcists. Alan has to be one of my favorite of the I'm a tiny teenage-year-old prodigal little shit protagonists of classic shonen anime. He's like Naruto, but smart. I was hopeful that Lena Lee would be my favorite female lead from a major shonen series, and those hopes peaked at a certain level 3, however they were quickly dashed on a rocky shore, and hey, I'm only on episode 100, maybe she actually does get to walk on her own 2 feet instead of debating me. Lavi's my favorite, hence why I'm drawing him here. As for Lulu Bell, when else will I get to say the name Lulu Bell? Lulu Bell. The character that's grown on me most is Tim Campy. Haven't watched Hollow yet, but I will get there. Honda makes me want to get beat up. I'm not going to explain that, but there is an actual explanation. Anyways, look at the time. Look at these crop tops. Again with the crop tops. They're fashion masterpieces. And perfect segue. We're talking about fashion again. It's time for Smile Down the Runway. I actually really like this one, and my little tiny pea brain can only handle like so much slice of life anime that last time I was actually impressed by one was Anime Kataris. That show was so freaking cute, man. It's barely slice of life. It's an anime about fashion. It almost made me cry. Underdog model meets underdog designer, and they aren't instantly attached to the hit. This show has some of the most realistic choices I've ever seen in anime in a while, and I love it. I also really wanted to mention not an anime number 2. Charlotte has 5 disciples. Okay, so I read a lot of webcomics on a variety of platforms, and when I say I mean a lot, I mean thousands of chapters on Webtoon Limbo. I battled frequently with the old 100 series cap. I'm so happy that's gone. I started reading Charlotte and caught up in like 4 days, and that's extremely rare for a series because I usually take one of not sleeping or mindfully eating for a day, but I intentionally stretched out these 100 plus chapters over 4 painful days because I knew when I caught up I would be so depressed waiting for a new chapter. If you read a lot of isekai or romance-based light novels or webcomics before, you're probably familiar with the female lead dies and opens her eyes to find she has a new body or young again, and this is what happens to the legendary maid Charlotte. She goes forward trying to live in this new shot at life, leaving behind the legacy and responsibility she had before she died. The only problem is the people she moved on from weren't ready for her to move on, and they also happen to be 6 of the most powerful people in the world. Chaos ensues. It was kind of hard to choose who to draw. Actually, it wasn't. I needed to draw Lottie, and then when I doubled the number of characters, I also had to draw the one that should rightfully be the male lead. I swear to God, Evan, get your ass out of here. I like the series that aren't afraid to let their characters have fun and be stupid, and this one does it so well, I'm out of time. Not an anime I consume number 3. I should have put this one first because it's actually an anime, but I'm reading the manga. Okay, so, One Piece. Little pirate monkey boy wants big fame, make crew go on quest, boops. Approximately I forgot to actually look up the chapter numbers, I just have question marks written. Okay, so Skypiea. Especially, I listened to Skypiea like a podcast watching the anime because it's so lost, and holy shit, it's J. Michael Tatum. Anyways, I'm on chapter 624 now. Robin Mom Hop. I'm having a crisis. Why doesn't Nico Olivia have more fanfiction? Looks like we're all out of time here. Here are the colors. Boom. Wow. These are the series. If I had to recommend one, it would be Stars Align because it deserves season 2. Full Instagram quality on Instagram. Who'd have thunk it? Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.